Hi everyone, I hope you're all having an amazing day and thank you so much for tuning in for Behind the Canvas episode 1. So today I'll be talking about time management. Now I feel like when people hear those two words, they might often try not to think about it because it does involve some thinking and planning and effort, which some people just don't want to be bothered with. But for anyone who's an artist, not as a job but just as a hobby, you might feel like you don't have enough time in your week to pay attention to anything related to art, and I completely understand you because I've had those problems, but I found some solutions for them, and that's why I'm taking the time today to share them with you. So my tip number 1 is to plan your week ahead of time. So you don't need to plan your days hour by hour, you just need to have a list of all the things you want to accomplish in your days and have your priorities set. Now, because art is a hobby of yours, it should be in your priorities, but maybe not your first one. What helps me make my to-do list is to write it down on paper somewhere where I can see it very often, like in an agenda, for example, or a bullet journal. You could even have a bullet journal specifically for art, but the point is that you see it often enough to feel the want to create art or the reminder that you need to continue practicing a certain aspect of art. I find it more efficient to write your to-do list rather than have it in your head. I don't know about you, but when I have a to-do list written down, I find it super accomplishing to check things off once they're done, so that really encourages me to do more art. But you do need to be realistic with your to-do list because you are a normal person that is only capable of doing so much in a day, so don't overfill your list. My tip number 2 is to stop procrastinating. Procrastination is the fastest and easiest way to lose precious time. So all that time that you spend scrolling through Instagram is not time wasted, but it's not time well spent. You could be doing something much more productive that will make you feel proud rather than scrolling through social media. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not saying to never do that. I am saying you should do it much less. If you have a favorite TV show, then watch it while you're doing art, and if you really want to look at your Instagram, then tell yourself, hey, instead of spending an hour on social media, I'll paint for 30 minutes and then I can look at some pictures for the rest of my hour. You really need to make the effort to control yourself and do something useful and productive. My tip number 3 applies mostly to students, and I am one myself, so I can understand how doing homework seems absolutely endless and time-consuming. So my advice for all students out there who want to make time for art is to never leave your schoolwork for the end. As an example, usually when I get a homework, I'll try to do it the day that it's given, and if I have a lot of work, I might cut my lunch break a little short to go to the library and do homework. Or the moment I get home, I'll grab a snack and right away start doing my homework. I won't go drawing or anything else. I'll simply focus on the work I have to do because if I'm not distracted, I'll be able to finish it faster. And then what I usually do is I'll reserve 15 minutes to an hour before I go to sleep to do art in order to calm myself and let my mind rest. And because I usually oil paint, which takes a lot of time to set up and clean up, I usually leave painting for the weekends and drawing for the weekdays. So to conclude everything, my advice is to really focus on what you love and what is productive and really control yourself to avoid anything that is bad for the creative mind and that will lead to procrastination. And give yourself a realistic goal and agenda where you really work on making time for art. But don't get me wrong, it's okay not to do art every single day, and it's okay to once in a while simply binge watch whatever TV show you're really into. So thank you so much for sticking till the end of this video. If you would like to hear more art-related useful tips, then make sure to subscribe, and if you'd like to see some works in progress of past and upcoming pieces, then make sure to check out my Instagram.